Hello and welcome to my review of the Sony a6000 compact system camera. This review is mainly concentrating on what it's like as a video camera as opposed to a stills camera. I bought it for video more so than I did for taking stills. It is, as I think we all know, a fantastic system camera. It's part of a great range, and the a6000 does produce fantastic images. It's got a 24 megapixel sensor, so one expects it to take great images, and of course it does. But does it take great video? And that's what I wanted to find out when I bought it. And it's a kind of a mixed bag, because the answer is yes, it does. It is superb. One great feature that I like about it is the face detection autofocus. It works flawlessly, and that for me is great, because I work on my own. I don't have a crew operating the cameras, checking the focus and what have you. So I tend to leave it on autofocus and let the camera sort it out. And my initial tests are that works an absolute treat. It's got, on the video side, it's got quite a lot of manual functions as far as the visual image is concerned. So you've got your zebras for setting, checking exposure levels, focus peaking for checking your focus if you're on manual focus, and that works brilliantly. And you've got all your manual shutter speed settings, aperture settings and what have you. Although regarding shutter speeds, it's really odd, and I can't fathom out. Maybe somebody can tell me, am I doing something wrong? Am I gone do lally? But I normally like to set it to 1/50th of a second on all my cameras. It goes from, it's really weird, because it go away. It goes from 1/45th to 1/60th, which is really odd. You know, 1/30th, 1/45th, 1/60th. There isn't a 1/50th, which here in the UK would be ideal. And I don't know why. I might be going to lally. It records in either AVC HD or the higher quality XAVC, such a mouthful, XAVCS codec, which is Sony's professional codec, very similar to the codec used in XD cam cameras, very much like my Sony PXW X70. And the only thing with that, do make sure you're using the correct SD cards, and it has to be class 10, etc, etc. It gets a bit complicated what they are, but just make sure you've got the right SD card in there to record in that format. It's a better quality format than AVC HD, and your edit suite will prefer it as well. Now, the big downside with this camera as a video camera, as I think most people will know, it's got no mic jack and it's got no headphone jack, which is a real pain in the bum. I kind of know why Sony done that. They didn't want to lose sales with their higher end cameras, and also the a6300's got a mic jack, and so has the 6500. And I don't think either of them have got headphone jacks either. But anyway, back to audio. The built-in microphones are okay for ambience, but it's pretty crap, to be honest. You wouldn't use the built-in microphones for anything serious. The other thing as well, they've kind of ignored audio completely. Although it will record audio, it's full auto. There's no manual controls of it whatsoever. And I would recommend anyone serious in video, don't use full auto, it's crap. You really do need manual control of your audio levels. So that cannot be recommended. You can buy Sony proprietary microphones that fit in the multi-interface chute, and they just slot on the top here. They do a Bluetooth one, wireless Bluetooth system, and that's got a headphone jack. But again, whatever microphones you put into this multi-interface chute, they have to be made by Sony. But in addition to that, you're still lumbered with full auto and no headphone jack to monitor the audio being recorded onto the SD card. So the long and the short of it is, use this for capturing the images and use the built-in mics for reference sound, and sync it in post-production with an external audio recorder. As long as you get your head around the workflow, it works really well. I use various ones. I've got the Tascam DR10X here. This is great. You just plug an XLR mic into here. This is much too big. Look at the size of that beast. It's ridiculous. It's only a cheap one. And that works really well. It's got manual, well, it has got manual audio, but it's limited to low, medium or high. I leave it set to medium and it seems to work absolutely fine. But it is manual, so you're not going to get the levels going up and down. The microphones need to be electret condenser mics because they need to have a built-in battery. There's no phantom power provided with this, so it just takes a little AA battery in there. Some of them might take AAA batteries, whatever. So that's one option, and that's an option. You can also plug in powered tie clip mics. I'm using a tie clip mic now, as you can see there. Hope that didn't make too much noise. It's a radio mic I'm using with a radio mic transmitter there, but you can plug one of these in. This has got a little button cell battery in there, and that works fine with an XLR adapter. Got one of those there, so that works fine. The other option is to use something like this one happens to be the Zoom H4n, manual level controls, XLR inputs. It's got mini jack input for tie clip mic, headphone jack, and I've ordered a Tascam one, which is basically the same sort of thing, but it's just a bit smaller. So these are the only way of getting decent audio, is to use an external recorder, then sync it in post. I tend to use, well, I always use Final Cut Pro 10 for my video editing because it's a fantastic bit of software, and I use Macs all the time. So, that's that as far as audio is concerned. Forget the audio on the camera. Now, the menu structure's pretty good. I've had no issues with that. The fact that it's got zebras and it's got focus peaking, you can set your exposure manually. So for video, everything is, you know, it's got the features there that a pro would need, and so that is fantastic. And the images are great as well. So with the fact that it's got interchangeable lenses, I'm using Sigma Art lenses. I've got a couple of them. But for video, I use a lot the standard kit lens because it's a powered zoom lens, although I don't do zooming, only for framing the shot. But so that works really well for video. The kit lens actually produces great results. It is only full HD. I say only as if that's a downside, but everything I do now is in 4K, and then I post edit in HD, and I find 4K is better for me because I can crop the image if I need to during editing, and then output it as a 1080 video. But it is a great quality HD, particularly when using with the XAVC S codec. It's got a clean HDMI output, so that's very interesting if you happen to have, or you're thinking of getting an external video recorder, field recorder monitor thing. It feeds a clean output. I've got the Atomos Ninja Assassin. This is a 4K recorder, but they also do a HD recorder, which is much smaller. This is 7-inch, the HD one's 5-inch. I've done a review on the Atomos Assassin, if you want to look at that. Great piece of kit again, and that works really well with this. It doesn't trigger it, mind you. It's a little bit annoying, but not a big thing. So when you start recording on here, it won't start it on here. Where with my JVC camera, which is what I'm filming this with, it's the HMGY 170. I mean, I've got my second camera over here, which is my Panasonic FZ2000, and I'm doing an overall scene shot with my Pentax K3. I've actually not done any filming with a Pentax K3, so I'm curious to see how good that is. I've stuck the Sigma 10-20 wide angle lens on it. If any of you are interested in a review on the K3 as far as what it's like for video production, then do let me know, because it has got a mic input and a headphone jack, so that seems very interesting. So there we go. That's a quick overview of the Sony a6000 as a video camera. I will be doing another one as to what it's like as a stills camera, but as a complete package, it is superb, isn't it? I mean, it is superb because the results are superb, and everyone says that. I don't think anyone has said any different, to be honest. So yeah, other than the audio, Sony, what were you playing at? Not putting a mic jack on there at least, even if you couldn't put a headphone jack on it. But hey ho, it is what it is. So there we go. Thanks very much for watching my reviews. I like to do more and more reviews, but I do love people subscribing and hitting the like button. It makes it well worthwhile doing them. So I appreciate that a lot. So thanks for watching this review, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for now.